And welcome to another edition of Jennifer Sherman Cooking with. Tonight, my guest is my husband. My husband happens to be an excellent cook, and tonight we are cooking one of his signature dishes that is also incredibly healthy. So, tell him a little bit about your dish, David.
Don't touch your face. It is tofu stir fry with a lot of vegetables.
Absolutely, but the key ingredient is not just any vegetable, but it's the cruciferous vegetable. So David's going to go ahead and start adding the ingredients and making this and showing you how he constructs a basic tofu stir fry.
I wouldn't call it basic, but... And Jennifer's gonna narrate while I cook, right? I'm just gonna cook and you'll tell him stuff about what I'm doing.
I'll tell you.
Okay.
I'll tell you information about the nutrients and cruciferous vegetables.
Are we using accents or not?
First, we put on the hot plates. We have to wait for it to get hot.
I would say no with the accents, actually.
That was Julia Childs.
Was it? Oh, well, it needs work.
Meets Yoda.
You're just going to explain what you do, and if
That's
there's
natural.
something important about why we've chosen that item, I'll try to add that.
Let's try to seem like a happy couple that communicates well with each other, not one of these couples that's like secretly pissed.
I promise
Don't
nothing.
shoot me any dirty glances. Alright. Ready?
Ready?
Action!
First,
First, we start with a tablespoon of olive oil. What I did while you guys weren't here was I let the pan preheat, because I've heard it said that you want the pan to be hot before you pour the oil in. Chopped onions. I would call that one large onion chopped.
The compound that's so beneficial that we get from cruciferous vegetables is sulforaphane.
Sulfura, what?
Sulforaphane.
What's that do?
That's a magical compound that does everything. It helps us maintain the cartilage in our knees and all of our joints, and it helps to keep our cholesterol regulated, our blood pressure regulated. It's been shown to reduce the growth in cancerous tumors, and so it's something that I recommend everybody get a serving of at least one cruciferous vegetable a day.
Continuing on our culinary journey, I'm going to add half a teaspoon of minced ginger. Usually when it's not the apocalypse, we just get fresh ginger, but going to the grocery store could kill you or one of your elderly relatives. So we've been ordering the jarred ginger from the people who are keeping this economy running. I think maybe I'll go for a teaspoon. I think you could say about a teaspoon.
Ginger is one of those spices that are excellent. It has anti-inflammatory properties, so there's no reason not to add ginger if you like the taste of it to a great stir fry.
You could probably go up to a tablespoon and you wouldn't be
And
too
it's
much.
just as good to add the jarred ginger or to use ginger powder.
I heard ginger is good for your blood flow. Is that true? Ever heard that? It's supposed to be an aphrodisiac. After you eat this, I'm pretty sure you're gonna totally love it.
I'm pretty sure I will.
It's because of the ginger. It's an aphrodisiac. Okay, next ingredient. I also was taught that when you're stir frying, you start with the firmest vegetables and then work your way towards the softest vegetables. So next in is the carrots.
Excellent. Wonderful source of vitamin A. Vitamin A is one of those beautiful vitamins that helps you, your immune system. And
fire!
it's not really fire.
We have red bell peppers, we have kale, we have
Cruciferous.
broccoli,
King of the cruciferous.
we have bok choy,
Cruciferous.
and we have snow peas. Alright, so next time I'm going to do is the kale. Because kale is, let's face it,
Great.
yeah, it doesn't taste bad. I don't know why people make fun of kale. I love kale. I put kale in everything. It just makes me feel really strong and healthy when I put kale in something.
I know.
And it kind of disappears into any dish you put it in. You can put it in lasagna. You can put it in stir fry. I put it in chili. I put kale in everything. This doesn't just happen by accident. Well, all we're really doing is we're using a little bit of olive oil to saute onion and jalapeno. And then we're adding all those other vegetables we chopped. And the only flavor ingredients are ginger, soy sauce, and honey. That's it. So it's like 3 ingredients. Really easy and it's really delicious. Oh, and I lied. There's also some veggie broth, which just I use to give it some moisture and a little bit of savory flavor. Alright, next thing I'm going to add is the next weirdest vegetable on our menu, which is bok choy. Bok choy, it's certainly not an American vegetable. I wouldn't trust it. Gotta cook it for a while. What do you have to say about bok choy?
I think bok choy tastes great just raw.
Raw?
It actually has a sweet flavor. It's really crunchy.
It's very neutral. It's almost like a cucumber.
It is, exactly.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be weirder than it is, but it's not that weird.
It's also a cruciferous vegetable.
What about the
so
green
it's
part?
one of our favorites. You can
Green
eat
part?
that too. You can eat the whole thing.
Ah, the green
Exactly.
part is the tangy part.
Mm-hmm.
But the white part is very, very mild.
I sometimes use it as a replacement for celery because some people in the family don't
We're
like
not going to say
celery.
who.
Just, yeah, one of us.
Into the pot.
Doesn't like celery. So I use bok choy, but bok choy is excellent source of calcium. It's also a cruciferous vegetable. And I have a baby bok choy that we used here.
So sad.
They're very tender.
So young.
I know.
But delicious.
Very delicious.
I like to eat them while they're young. My vegetables, that is. Not people. Who would eat people? That would be weird. I don't eat people.
Cut.
Okay, so. Here's the thing. Now is the time for the soy sauce. Now we have enough kind of material in the stir fry to absorb a little soy sauce. We have a gluten-free soy sauce because in addition to being annoyingly vegan, we're annoyingly gluten-free. Normally I would measure this out, but since people want to know,
Annoyingly vegan?
I think all vegans are somewhat annoying. It's just the judginess. And the fact that we're going to outlive you and lead better, more fulfilling lives. I'm going to say maybe 3 tablespoons. Okay, so there's your soy sauce. I may have done a little bit much. Maybe 3 tablespoons, maybe 4. We'll see.
How much did you end up putting in?
4.
Okay.
And now I'm just going to basically do the rest of the vegetables. Here's our snow peas.
Yeah, everybody.
Vitamin C,
I mean,
worthless vegetable.
they have a lot of fiber.
Very sweet, surprisingly
yeah.
sweet tasting, like sugary.
What's great about them, they add a nice crispness to any stir fry, so I do love to add a snow pea.
I'm going to do my last 2 vegetables. Let's do the broccoli next, because I don't really like the way that tastes raw either.
That looks great.
I've stirred in the broccoli, and what I'm going to do now is add some of the vegetable bouillon to kind of get everything juicy again. And also I'm going to add in the honey to add a little sweetness. Yeah, I'm just going to do a tablespoon. And the good thing about honey is it's made by bees, and it gives you the ability to read people's minds. Last thing to go in is the red pepper. It's not roasted, it's just raw red bell pepper. And at this point the dish is basically done. Because as I said before, I would eat the red pepper raw. Sometimes I might taste one of the carrots to see how firm they are, because that's the first thing I put in. Yeah, and it's not super crunchy, it's still firm, which is nice. And then what we're gonna do is add the tofu we cooked earlier and the brown rice and just stir that all in. So you want there to be enough liquid in the stir fry so that when you pour the brown rice in, it just kind of makes it nice and juicy, you know. You don't want it to be runny, but you don't want it to be dry. And this looks like it's about right. And I like to pour the brown rice in because then it's a one-pot dish. Just and the rice is pretty simple. 1 cup rice, 2 cups water. I use half a cube of veggie broth. And you get it to boil and then you let it simmer for about 40 minutes. I just use this regular saucepan. And I just dump it in there. Stir this in. And you can see it's kind of moisturizing the rice. Looks pretty good.
Oh, David, it looks magnificent. All those cruciferous vegetables.
Did we get the jalapeno part on camera? I can't remember. We added jalapeno. That's good. So it's hot.
Yeah, you called your wife spicy pepper.
Oh, that's right. She is. And this is the last thing. Before we did this tonight, we baked some tofu. We eat a lot of tofu, and you just cut it into cubes. Try to get it kind of dry before you cut it. You might take it out of the box and just let it sit in the colander or pat it with paper towels. Then you cut it into cubes and you just marinate it with soy sauce and black pepper. The parchment paper will change your life if you start cooking enough. Because I didn't find out about parchment paper until like a week ago. And it's so much better than
Not that I've been keeping it from him. I just
oil
never
and stuff.
mentioned it.
It makes it so nothing sticks. So you can just bake your stuff on parchment paper and then dump that in. And then stir in the tofu and you're done.
Well, that looks magnificent, David.
Well, let's find out. Stir it up. Jen and Dave, COVID edition. I don't mean to be seditious, but this looks delicious and I'm going to put it on a plate and I can't wait till I lose the fake accent. I'm faking Jamaican, but there can be no mistaking that we're not cooking, we're baking. See you next time, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for joining us for the COVID-19 edition of Jennifer Sherman Cooking with my husband.